if you've ever gotten an airsoft toy because you saw it in a video game, and that video game happened to be Cyberpunk 2077, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, guys. Today, we got the Maxim9 by Krytac, but distributed by Lilacs. This is actually the Japanese version of the Maxim9 silencer recoil pistol. It is lighter, it is snappier, it is faster than the US version. But let's get right into the video. But before that, ladies, gentlemen, you might have forgotten, but not by me, Mark 23s, guys. At the end here, we have the proprietary muzzle device, I suppose. This is supposed to be a full baffled muzzle suppressor on the real thing. And if you've actually ever seen videos of the real thing, you know that it kind of sounds like an airsoft gun in real life. Shoots 9mm too, so it's actually like super quiet. Now, what we want to know about this is that this is actually removable. I don't know if I can actually show it. So when you remove these two screws, you can see here, it is just a little piece. And inside is not supposed to be this. It is actually supposed to be just an empty chamber. There's actually nothing in here because in Krytac fashion, thanks Mitch, you're supposed to buy a whole bunch of different Krytac parts and accessories and make it completely modular so that you can actually put in, you know, different accessories such as the proprietary Krytac tracer, which is OEM'd through Airsoft, I think. So you're gonna be getting a good tracer of that. It is not included in the box, so that's kind of like a little bit of a bummer. So moving down the plastic muzzle device, with the American version being aluminum, we have a mounting plate for a optic. You can do a Tokyo Midway optic, an RMR, Trijicon, anything you want, and it will fit on here. And the cool thing about that is that the slide is kind of like the Desert Eagle, where it's not connected to the front, it is only from the back, meaning that the outer barrel and consequently the inner barrel is fixed, which means it's not going to be moving up and down, it's not going to be sliding, which means it's going to have, in theory, really good accuracy. So that is good to know. And the hop unit, it seems to be made out of metal, so that's pretty good. So that means when you're shooting this thing, the sight is not going to move. It's not going to blur around because it's moving on the back of the slide. It's just going to be fixed like that, which means it's kind of like a regular optic on a rifle, a barrel mounted optic. So that's pretty cool. So I don't have an optic, so too bad for me. We're gonna be running this with iron sights. And speaking of iron sights, I don't know what it is, but these are kind of like Glock iron sights. But on my particular version, I don't know if it's refurbished or not. I don't actually have a white sight at the front on the front sight. I only have them on the back side. So it's kind of like a little bit hard to see. I would understand if the backs were serrated and then this was just white, but in this case for me, it's the other way around. So it's a little bit hard to see, but it's airsoft, so it doesn't really matter, but I think it's good to go for now anyway. Now, moving on to the trigger guard and the lower receiver for a second. It is full polymer, reinforced polymer, and it is grippy. Is it grippy? It is grippy, okay? This thing is like super, not even stippled, but it's like very grippy with my rare hands. Has the insignias on there and it has a metal slide release. And this just feels really very, very good to hold in my hands. It's kind of like a P226, like a SIG, where it just like snugly fits in your hand. But the grip angle is a little bit reminiscent of a Glock, as it is a striker, but actually just an internal hammer. But very nice. I wish it was kind of smaller. It would have felt really nice, but hey, it is a weirdo gun, so that's just what it is. That's what you're getting. So the next one is the trigger. Now, I have never felt a trigger this hard before. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing or not. We're gonna have to find out when we're shooting this thing IRL, but it is the hardest wall in the world. Check this out, okay? So if I put your hand over mine, I'm gonna ghost that trigger. It has a blade safety like a Glock, so there's actually no physical safety. Your hand over mine, here we go. Look at this. Look at this, the hardest wall. I'm putting like 30% pressure and I still can't break it. That's probably it probably means you have to shoot this thing with determination. But anyways, ooh. Hold on. Oh, that's That reset is like broken. Okay, now, I don't know if this is my version or not, but it doesn't have a reset, or the reset's really weird. Maybe there's something wrong with it. It was doing this, it was doing the reset before, and I was feeling it before, but now it's not doing the reset. That's very strange. That aside, let's talk about the magazines. So these magazines are like Glock magazines with little bumpers, but this version is the CO2 version. Now, Japan doesn't have green gas, okay? We don't have that green gas. We don't have black gas. We either have Fluon C143A, the little poo-poo one that barely runs, or we have CO2. And CO2 has become a big thing because it's an all-season kind of thing and gives you more power. Now, let's load this up with CO2. And I'm pretty sure you could also shoot this with green gas or whatever Fluon gas, but we have the CO2 version. So there should be an actual aluminum frame that's kind of keeping this thing together. And it looks like there is. That way it doesn't actually blow the thing up. That's weird that there's no reset, so there might be an issue with this. We're about to find out. So let's load this up with CO2. Now, what I like about the Lilacs Krytac designs is that you don't have to like unscrew anything. They have things at the bottom. So you can just throw it in here like this. Grab yourself a hex wrench. Is this the smaller one or is the bigger one? It's the big boy. Okay, and you basically just go like this until it's tight enough. And then cover this up. Keep going until you don't hear anything. Don't go too tight though. And no hisses. So, now that this thing is loaded with CO2, I just want to tell you that this thing in theory holds 24 rounds. We're gonna have this empty for now, just so we can test this recoil and see what's going on with this trigger actually. But this is actually my first time shooting this thing, so this is gonna be the moment of a lifetime, guys. Here we go, load it up, iPro on, nobody in this room. Here we go. Whoa! Ah! I forgot one thing. This thing has a fire select on the bottom. And that fire select is full auto. And that's probably why there was no reset. So we're gonna press this like that. And now in theory, there we go. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a nice reset. Okay, guys. So as you just saw there, that was a full auto CO2 pistol. Let's do semi-auto and see how this feels, guys. Here we go. Oh, very snappy. Ooh, very nice. Reset. Rate of fire, I would say, is a little bit slow because of this super hard wall. So it's not as fast as, for example, my SIG M17 with the custom trigger on there, or it's not as fast as a Glock, but pretty comfortable. Pretty decent. You know, it's not life-changing like the SIG, but it is still quite nice. But the real thing is actually the full auto. So here we go. Very nice. Wow. All right, and that's with CO2. Very nice. Let's see how long it takes to drain this thing. Here we go. Oh, still going. And that was it. That's a very impressive performance. And just to give you a reference right now, it is 34 degrees outside and I got the room going at 20. That's incredible. incredible performance. Will you ever be able to use full auto indoors on this pistol? Probably not, so it's probably gonna be good for outdoors. But I also see this being a great solo pistol indoors. It feels like it's built for that. Oh yeah, I forgot that there's actually a key mod bottom part on here. This was made, the original version was made during a time where key mod was a thing. But I don't plan on doing that anyway. That was cool. Now, let's do a chrono test and a range test. I live in Japan. I don't have a big apartment, okay? I have a tiny little 48 square meter apartment, so I don't have big ranges. So you'll be able to see the ranges on this thing later in a video when I test it on a range or I test it somewhere on a field. But for now, we're just gonna be doing a practical little test. Oh my God, had the full auto on, whoopsies. 68. You gotta shoot up. 68, 69, 66, 66. All right, works good enough. How fun is that? Well, that was a fun little gun. Quick little thing is that there is a hop up, and the hop up, there's actually a small little hop up unit here, and basically using a small Allen wrench, and see how that goes. Once again, here we go. Oh God, did the full auto again, and I'm pretty sure I'm out of bullets. Here we go. $64. Okay. With the one round that my old Krytac actually picked up, it shot 64. So it doesn't seem like it affects the velocity that much. So 5 meters, and we're gonna line up these iron sights, which are not adjustable, by the way, and see the general accuracy of this. We can make some kind of inference. If its groupings are okay, then it should, in theory, be good. And because of this barrel not moving, being a fixed barrel and only the slide moving in the back, you should be able to have a very, very accurate shot. The rest is on me. Very low. Honestly, for the most part, let's do a T-Rex arms walkthrough. It's actually quite consistent. The first shot was kind of down here, and the second shot was here, and then it kind of started to group itself out and consistently hit this spot here as I rapid fired. So it's actually quite consistent with all things considered. Fun switch. Okay, my accuracy sucked, but look at these groupings. The first round was actually a lot better, but I kind of screwed up a little bit, but you can see that's very, very solid. That's gonna devastate someone in CQB. Okay, so final thoughts on the Maxim9. This is a formidable little airsoft toy, well, big boy airsoft toy. It has very good performance. It shoots pretty fast, very accurately, thanks to the fixed barrel. And it is, in theory, very modular. So it's actually quite nice, very solid build, good performance. Now, the only issue with this thing that I have is that it is a money sink. If you want to have a tracer, you have to actually get the proprietary parts from Krytac to do that. And if you want to get an optic, you have to do a whole mount thing as well. So there's actually quite a lot that you have to do to get this thing being tactical. But out of the box configuration, it's pretty good. It's actually quite solid. And it's on par with the performance of my M17 by Lilac. So I don't think I would be using it too often other than for the memes and you guys, but I think that it is a solid piece as a collector's item. And with that CO2 configuration, it is actually quite usable in Japan and has that really nice satisfying kick, which is what really nice. I like that rate of fire. It's quite accurate even in full auto. And I would rate it. I rate it. No. So guys, this has been the Silence & Co. Maxim9 by Krytac, distributed by Lilacs in Japan, Japanese version CO2 airsoft toy. And if you want to see more videos like these, or you want to see a gameplay of this, let me know in the comment section down below. But until then, guys, watch this video right here for more airsoft in Japan. Whoa.